Sure. So, yeah, I helped when IndyMac Bank became a federal bank run by the FDIC as a junior analyst, assisting with understanding the deposit flows back then. And it is very similar because we've now seen basically nationalized Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank in the same way. And they're trying to sell the banks very quickly back to the private sector. In 2008, what really happened with IndyMac was essentially a YouTube financial crisis. You had a lot of the older folks, like in their 70s and 80s, running on the bank. But then you had these people who were in their 20s who were filming YouTube videos outside the bank. And before you knew it, we saw that the demographics were changing, where people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s who hadn't necessarily lived through the Great Depression were suddenly running, and there were these huge lines outside IndyMac Bank. And it was a real shock to the system. And I mean, Grunberg was the vice chair during this time. So as chair, he probably saw this. And IndyMac Bank was a real disaster because you just had people lined out the streets for days. It was hot in California. What you have now, though, is maybe people are inside their homes on their phones, but they're all watching Twitter. And this is something that we thought about in 2008, and I still think about today, is what happens when the velocity of information is so fast, there isn't even time for the regulator to try to either talk to the public or talk to the bank or get anything coordinated. I mean, this was in a matter of 48 hours, and also with Signature Bank on a Sunday being closed. I mean, I don't think most Americans spend their time banking on Sunday, and unless we can see that Signature had a lot of people running out of the door from it over that Sunday, that changes a lot of things, because then we're not able to get to the golf course at 3 o'clock anymore. It's no more 363, it's 24/7.